Ladies and gentlemen, hey, my name's Tim Lee. Welcome to the Montana Lifestyles Podcast as we are hanging out at the Great Western Show. I've had the honor of meeting so many amazing, gifted artists that have become lifelong friends that I've connected with over social media, and there's just those people that are always there showing their support in the texts and stuff, and Coila here is one of those individuals in my life, and I deeply appreciate you and your husband. This is a very, very gifted artist. You just got a piece in the C.M. Russell auction. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And then on top of that, your husband is an incredibly gifted woodworker, and he does amazing, amazing stuff. And some of the stuff he's invented as well to all the stuff he's creating. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
So,
I agree. Yeah,
you have to put up with that.
So, remind me to tell you about the tinfoil stairs sometimes.
Oh, no. Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I love him, so I'm like, okay, do it. He's like, I've got this idea. I want to put tinfoil on the stairs. And they were these beautiful hand-carved mahogany steps. They're floating steps, and he does tinfoil application, like silver leaf.
Yeah, right.
But metal, basically metal leaf. And so he did this metal leaf application all over the stairs, a full wrap.
And how did it end up turning out?
It's good. It's actually worn pretty well. It's worn well, and it's been interesting. But we're going to change it.
But we're going to change it. Mm-hmm.
Well, it was an experiment. You know what I mean? He's like, let me try this. Let me see how it goes. And so I was like, okay.
All right.
For it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pull that off in my house. I don't think so. My lovely wife there, she designed the whole house. I don't think I could walk up to her and be like, tinfoil toilet, and she'd be up for it. I don't think so. But I'm sure he could like make the perfect toilet seat and everything else amongst all the other amazing. The first piece that I saw that he did was this absolutely gorgeous, like double-seated chair. And it was oh man,
Two-chair.
Yeah, exactly. It was a two-chair piece. And that was the first time I met you as well.
Yes, and you did these wonderful caricatures of our whole group, which I am not in ownership of mine. Tyler has them.
He stole them from you all?
He has them, and I haven't gotten to see him since, but I'm like, hey, I was talking to Troy about it. I was like, I want my caricature. I would like to have this, because Tim did an incredible job. You just came and did it, and that's my first solid memory of getting to meet you.
And the best part about it is you had no idea what was going on. You were talking with someone else, and so I think I had someone stand in front of me so that I could look over their shoulder to see you, and it was literally like drawing you out of the corner of my eye the whole time.
That's so awesome.
It was as stalkerish as you could possibly get. It was hilarious. But I got to tell you that was a very special day for me. That really was, because and I know that that gallery now has closed with Tyler and whatnot, but the people that he has surrounded himself with are just such incredible individuals. You, your husband, Ken, Amanda, have all just become such incredible friends to me, and it's caused what's behind us here, you know?
I know.
And that to me is a miracle and an amazing gift. So and it's because of Tyler and the gallery that he has started and put into action there, and until he closed it out. But you're all still here celebrating in this moment, and
yeah, it's so cool. And he is, I told him he was our little ringleader.
Yes.
Put us back together, you know.
Yes.
And so he still has an online presence, but you spoke to him, so you know all the details.
Honestly, it's the longest podcast I've recorded yet. He and I just sat here and just sat down. He brought us some non-alcoholic beverages, and we're just sitting here chatting for like 20, 30 plus minutes, just having a good old time.
Oh, that's
so he's a king. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Let's talk a little bit more about your beautiful work. First off, I love your hat that you have, and you really utilize a lot of yourself as a model in your work, but on top of that, these beautiful Native American kind of style blankets and things of that nature in such wonderful pieces. The thing I love is that your C.M. Russell piece that got it is a painting of you, and it's a beautiful piece. Tell me a little bit about your inspiration behind some of that.
Thank you. You know, it's interesting how things begin, and it was actually a cold day, and you know, you were, before you turned on the mic and everything, you were talking to me about, like, we were talking about, like, sitting and presenting
Yes.
ourselves
how to
on
present
camera.
yourself, yeah.
And so I would get in front of the camera and practice. And I remember it was a cold day. Or sometimes I would like make a video to share on social media. Be like, wow, I'm not going to share this now.
She does a good job on social media, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
So I would talk to get comfortable. I would
Yes.
make videos to get comfortable because I would just go off the rails, which I do. It's part of my personality. But but you do great though. I've noticed you circled it back a couple of times. I'm like, oh man, you're so like on it. I will be the one that would let us keep going down that road. Whatever
trust
road.
Me, I do let it go down that road, and I have such a wonderful time when it happens.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So on this day, it was really cold in the studio, and I kind of wrapped up in the blanket, and I was like, I'm going to say something. I'll make a video for, Instagram. And then I started paying attention to what I was doing. And so I have been thinking for the last few years, like, what makes sense to me with the Western work?
Yes.
To make Western work,
Yeah.
but what is my voice inside of that? And I love to tell stories.
Yeah.
And I really care about people
Yeah.
and what we go through. And so, like, for the bison, I titled it Endurance, and,
Yes.
what we all endure. And sometimes what we endure are our own choices, or like the triptych that's in the booth now, which is the figure, which it's me, but I'm just the vehicle for the story.
Right, you're just a vehicle for the story.
I'm just
Absolutely.
a vehicle for the story. So like
I've used myself as a model for all my stuff for so long.
yeah, and so that piece is called See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, and it starts with like, because I get worried about stuff, right?
Yes.
I'll be like, oh, and I'll get insecure about something, or
Right.
I'll overthink something,
Right.
and then I just get like so hard on myself, and and so it's really about like, what do we actually say to ourselves?
Yes.
Maybe that really starts there, because
Yes.
when you get mad at yourself, then all of a sudden, what if you lash out at somebody, and they're like, because you're stressed out because you're being so rude to yourself, right? So that one, the one that got into the Russell, to the silent auction tonight, is called Look Up Child, and it's inspired by a Lauren Daigle song. And like when I have a tough time or whatever, I just remember like, just chill out and like look up. I have it written. It was in the Big Sky Journal, and now I'm trying to remember what my thing was like.
It'll hit you in a minute.
Why did I just forget what it is? Like, it just reminds me like to have faith,
Right.
is what it's about. So, and I couldn't believe it, because when I submitted my work, I thought, well, what can I offer them of value?
Right.
That's really will make an impact for the collector, will make an impact for the museum, and they're like, that will be helpful to everybody. And I thought I would make something special for them, and then I didn't have the time to do that, as it turned out. And so I thought, well, okay, I'm just going to trust the process.
Right.
Because it's a miniature show, and it's
Yes.
an 18 by 24.
Yeah. That's not a miniature.
It's not a miniature.
That's not a miniature at all.
So, but I was like, well, this is the only good one. I had other paintings, but I was like, they're just not good enough to make an impact. And so I submitted that one. Anyway, it's a long story, but
it's a
the
wonderful
inspiration
story.
behind the piece is about like, just, having faith. And
Well, and like you said, any piece of art, there is a stage, and I hate the line so much because it's so true. As much as you hate it, trust the process. It's a reality, though. As you're going through things, it's going to have its. And I jump back to Amanda Markle and her story behind some of her sculptures and things that she does. The negativity, the positivity, the negative space, the positive space, everything. As we're painting and going through whatever we're going through, it has a reason and a purpose and a structure. And that's why art is so beautiful, because it has our hearts in it. In the moment when we're painting there and we suddenly remember something negative about ourselves, or in the moment that we get this one thing right and we look back at it, we go, oh, that's what I meant to do? I love it. Those accidents and things like that. It's beautiful. That's the beautiful about art, and beauty about art, and what you're creating. And, I mean, come on. You've been doing this for a while now, and absolutely deserve to be in the Russell auction. So very exciting for you.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Very exciting. So what's your game plan tonight? You're going to be there and see what happens?
Troy and I will be there. It starts
Good.
at 6 o'clock, so we're going to go down and and to see how it goes. I'm trying not to go in with any expectations and just enjoy it and get to meet people and greet them and thank them for coming. And that's really important because we couldn't do what we do if they didn't do what they do.
If you weren't touching their hearts, there would not be any heart to touch if you hadn't created anything in the first place. That's the truth. So tell me a little bit about how you met your husband. I gotta ask that.
Well, it was serendipitous, really.
I sat on a stool, didn't realize you made it.
Well, we did have our very first date at one of his tables that he had just finished and installed at a restaurant in Billings.
Oh, how cool!
Walkers. And I was visiting my grandmother in Billings one summer, and I was with my mother and her husband. And we were only in town for a few short days. We had driven in an RV. So I flew from Orlando to Dallas-Fort Worth. They picked me up from the airport in the RV.
Rewind. Orlando.
I lived in Orlando for a short, 7 years. Oh, you love Orlando?
I lived in Orlando for 16 years.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Where?
Anyway,
Okay.
I was a Popka and Claremont for my 16 years there. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I worked at Disney. So, yes, fellow Floridian. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yep. So I lived there for 6 years. Originally, I'm from Texas.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So, let's see. So I flew from Orlando to Dallas. My mom and her husband picked me up in the RV, and we drove to Montana. So I'm in town for a few days. I'm talking to my aunt, and she had received this really interesting, funny phone call from Troy. He left her this message, and I don't know. She was commenting about this message she received. I said, well, who is this person? And then she really gave this incredible description and about who he is and his character and, what he's, all these things. And I was like, wow, I think I should meet this person. And so she called him and said, you need to come meet my niece. Come down. And it's an hour drive, and he had just gone back from a trip.
Oh, my land.
And he said, no, I don't think I will do that. And so she is persistent. And she's very persistent. I should write her a letter and thank her again. But he came down, and we went on a date. She chaperoned. And we knew... Let's see. He didn't want to come meet me. I think it was a Monday. It was August 23rd, 2004.
Oh, wow.
And we were going to leave on that Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. However, or maybe we left on a Friday, but we went on 3 dates in that amount of time, and we skipped one day. And on the third date, he took me back to meet his mom and dad.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah. He didn't want to come meet me once, and then he drove down two more times.
Wow.
So he drives down, drives me back to he eats dinner at my grandmother's house. I cooked dinner for everybody. And he drives me back to Roundup, introduces me to his parents. And he took me on a horseback ride, and his dad helped me up on the horse and made sure I was all safe on the horse and everything. And his mom had homemade cookies in the cookie jar. And I was we just left such an incredible impression. And we're on this ride. And just the night before, my cousin and I had talked about it, and I was like, we're just going on a horseback ride. I'm not going to marry this. We're just, So it's so ironic. And I was like, it's not like I'm going to marry this man. And on this ride, it was so clear to me that he was the one I was going to marry. I couldn't, it came from nowhere. And it was just like, wow, I'm going to marry this man.
Whoa.
I couldn't believe it.
I am going to interview him. I'm going to get the other side of this story. That's a guarantee. Okay, just you keep an eye on this podcast. That's going to have to. Don't tell him. I will dig it out of him on my own.
I'm giving you the short version of it, and I'm going to be delighted to hear how this goes.
We won't tell him anything. We'll dig it out of him and see what happens.
So then
That's awesome, though.
It
Wow.
is awesome,
It
was
is.
so fun. And I started being all googly with him, because I hadn't been before. I've just been just kind of normal. And we drove back to my grandmother's house, and we were visiting, and we were going to drive away at 3 a.m. So this was my last night in town.
Right.
And we're visiting, and I just kept like looking at him like googly-eyed because I knew my secret,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And I was not going to tell him because
Yep.
that sounds outrageous.
Yes.
Well, he had similar feelings, and I'll just leave it at that. And we knew that night we were going to get married. And so we did. We were engaged, and we only ever saw each other 7 whole times from start to finish.
Oh.
And that was it. We met August 23rd, 2004, and we were married September 3rd, 2005.
I love it. I love everything about that.
Yeah.
I love everything about that.
And I went and I sold my house. I had a house with a friend and we sold it. And it happened like everything just fell right into place. And I got rid of everything I owned. And I shipped everything else through the U.S. Postal Service.
Oh my.
And that's how I moved to Montana.
Oh my word.
I got rid of everything, my car, everything. I just was like, I'm going to fly there. I'm not going to drive cross country because I'd already driven from Texas
Right,
and it was
right.
too much.
Wow. I love everything about that.
So,
And you really need to meet them both. They're both wonderful human beings, absolutely wonderful human beings. What show are you with? Let's let everyone know where they need to come and see your work.
I'm showing with Montana Gallery at Best of the West here at the Four Seasons Arena in Great Falls.
Yep, Montana Expo Park. You need to come and check it out. And I love the story already. I definitely want to get Troy in here and get his side. So I will do that. I am going to be invested in making that happen. But the thing I love is that so many of these things happen for just you don't know how God's going to work. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I met my wife online on ChristianMingle.com because her grandmother insisted, after a relationship that she was in, that she just needed to just go find someone. So she was totally trying to prove her wrong and got on Christian Mingle and found me, and
That's wonderful.
And we've been married almost 10 years now,
You have?
and yeah, and
That's
so
wonderful. Congratulations.
well, thank you, and congratulations to you guys. I mean,
Thank you.
those are the stories that everyone would dream to have, to know so quickly of that certainty, and to carry that, and then realize, wow, they feel the same way, and then look what you guys have done together. Your beautiful art, his beautiful furniture, and the gift of creativity that continues in your family. I mean,
Thank you.
that's a wonderful story.
Thank you.
That's delightful. And that's the kind of stuff we want,
I have to also mention, like, without him, there's multiple things that led me to life as an artist, but
Right.
I wasn't painting when I moved to Montana. I lived here 18 years now, and by chance, I got to take a class in 2008 with my cousin, just like a little still life, like a 2-hour little painting class with, in a community that she lived in.
Yeah.
But because of Troy, truly, I wouldn't be a painter. He's always like really nudged me. There's been some times where he's like, what, how are you going to do that? Or, but overall, like, he has supported it and encouraged it, and just sometimes when I didn't even realize that I could or needed it, he did.
Yeah.
And then when I needed the encouragement most, like not long ago, I was just like,
You feeling the burn?
I was having some insecurities, and
Of
I was
course,
like,
we all do.
and I talked to him about it. He's like, what? No. And it was just really beautiful because it helped me, like, it helped us bond, like my struggle helped us bond, and it really just,
It broke down an extra wall, didn't it?
well, there's so many layers to a relationship.
Yes.
I mean, I moved out here, we didn't really know each other. I mean, it takes years, and it's still like more layers, and I'm just like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah. How
So-
wonderfully deep that is, though. How delightful that is. But and here's the thing: the reality of it is, when someone you love looks at you and says you're capable, and they're proud of you, and you should. That's. I can't tell you how many times I've changed every opinion of myself because of what she says. And it's a fact. This would not happen if it wasn't for my wife looking at me going, wow, I really like that. Suddenly I'm like, she likes it. Okay, if she likes it, then this is going to work, And so when Troy looks at you and goes, hey, come on, those doubts, why on earth are you even having them, Or, hey, that's realistic, that's fair, that's fine. Let's look at it together, now we go somewhere, And that's wonderful. And that continues the delightful marriage that you guys are already in. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Now you can go back and give him a hug, because I'm sure you're in that lovey-dovey kind of like, oh, okay, you're still my favorite mood.
Yes,
So,
yes, because
absolutely.
it's like,
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll get him over here and I'll get his side. It'll be fun.
I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
Me too. And I mean, come on. the reality is you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what little thing you're going to do, what little class you're going to take that's going to suddenly send you on the new adventure, the new art, the new life goal that you didn't have, or move you all the way across the country from Texas to Montana or Florida to Montana. You know, hey, my wife puts it well. She recruited me for Montana, so Troy recruited you for Montana too, right?
Yes, he did. He sure did. So it's fascinating how, and it reminds me, like when I start, like if I'm having anxiety or anything, I'm like, just like look up, like just let go.
Yeah.
Quit trying to control things.
Right. You can't be in control of everything. And it's amazing how the things that we're trying to be in control of the most are the things that we're incapable of being in control of. It doesn't make sense why we want to try and have our hands in things that we are incapable of doing anything with, you know? So just enjoy what you can be in control of and love on the people that are helping you claim your own sanity, right?
Well said. Well said. Yes. So.
Good. Folks, really quickly, you need to make sure to stop by and see us. We are a family. We are a group of friends that just continue to grow on each other and support each other. And this is a beautiful place to find inspiration, whether it's to pick up the paintbrush for yourself or to take home one of our works to endow someplace in your home or your business. You will find inspiration, love, passion, excitement in these walls here, the Great Western Show, and we are at the Montana Expo Park. And saying that, let me say some quick thank yous. First off, all these wonderful conversations are rather comfortable because of these great chairs provided by Ferrins Furniture. So big thanks to them for loaning these chairs for us. They're quite nice. I've enjoyed these interviews thoroughly because I'm just chilled out.
I know. Look at this little reclining action.
Exactly.
I like it. It's very comfortable.
It is.
Matches my coat.
Yes, it matches you perfectly. I see it's working great with the rings here. You're styling it wonderfully. And when it comes down to it, my friends, I have a very bad tailbone. I can't sit for a long period of time. I sit in this chair. I don't want to get out of it. This is their Stressless Collection. That's what they call it. You can go and check it out over there at Ferrins Furniture. And then, of course, Johnson Madison Lumber is an amazing sponsor of our podcast. I want to say humongous thanks to them. 300 years of combined experience when it comes to all things woodworking, whatever the case. Whether you're like Troy, who creates beautiful art out of nothing, or you're building your future home, or whatever the case may be, Johnson Madison Lumber is the place to go to get all that knowledge, resources, everything you need. And big thanks to them, jmlumber.com. In saying that, you need to be here because there is no way to describe the emotions that you see when you see a painting in person. No social media can ever show you the depth and breadth and heart of the people that put their time and heart in our art. So come and see it for yourself here at the show, okay? We're here for 3 more days, and it's already going by far too quickly. I gotta say.
It's going quick.
Yeah, it's going by very quick, so please come and spend some time with us. If you enjoyed this, that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and make sure that you share this video with someone that you love. And let's get as many people here to the show so that we can continue to get the world of art spread out in our beautiful Montana, all right? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
She's walking by over to the bathroom. I'm in the perfect place. I just grab artists. I'm like, go to the bathroom, then get your butt back here. Let's do this. So this is absolutely perfect, and I appreciate that I grabbed you. So now
I'm so glad you did too. You're so funny.
More coming your way right here, Montana Lifestyles Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you get the magazine Treasure State Lifestyles Montana. And as we wrap up here, I need a quick favor from you, if you would do me the honor.
Oh, okay.
Would you please sign my hat?
I was ready to wear it.
Now, I'll tell you the quick thing.
Okay.
When I asked that lovely lady to marry me, I was wearing this hat.
Oh my gosh.
So this hat has very special meaning for me. Oh. So I'm doing when I feel like I'm in a place of blessings and I feel like the next stage of my life is coming up, I find something personal that's special to me and I make everyone be a part of that. So this is it.
Wonderful.
So
well, I'm excited to sign it.
As soon as we can get the pen to work. Some extra muscle there. Let me see. Oh, there we go. We got it.
I know. I don't know why I was being so difficult with that.
Well,
I think I was thinking Troy Evans he'll go T.A. Evans and then Ann Coila. So I was thinking about that.
Oh, so you're trying to fit in where you can be, and then I'll tell him where you sign so he can sign in the right place. How about that?
I know.
All right, folks, we got more coming your way here on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in a few minutes in the next one. Make sure you share this out so we can continue to get so many wonderful people here to see all the amazing stuff going on. Thanks for watching. Bye.